What's going on, troops? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to install the Eonin P6 motorcycle unit onto my adventure bike. I've done a bit of research myself into this. There's a lot of people that are just hardwiring it straight into the battery. However, if you're going to do that, you're just going to kill your battery because you're going to forget to unplug it. I'm going to show you how to locate your switch live wire, get it all correctly set up, and hopefully you won't bodge it. So stick with it and I'll show you how. So in the box, you're going to get your screen, your GPS unit, a bracket to mount your screen up, all your power cables, front and rear cameras, your control unit, screwdriver, a bag for your tyre caps for the electronic system, and various brackets, and then a USB power kit so you can plug that straight in before you wire this unit into your bike, just to test that it all works. I'm going to go ahead and do that now just in case there's any updates that need doing, and we'll jump back in there. So as I said, the little USB instant power you've got there, it's got power on that end. What you're going to do is locate the power cable that's connected to the screen, and then you can boot it up and do any updates that's necessary. So we'll have a little look at this and see what happens. Right, have a little look around this and I'll get back to you. So I just had a little look around, connected it to the phone. There's no updates you need to do. Obviously, if you're iPhone or Android, there's two options. You've got CarPlay will be for the iPhone, and then Android Auto will be if you're a Samsung user. I am Samsung, and this is what it looks like. So now we're going to go ahead and get it installed into the bike. The first thing I've done is locate the screen exactly where I want it, so it's not in the way of anything else. You're going to need a 10mm spanner just to get this bracket on here. Secondly, your control panel that's going to go on your handlebars is a bit of a nose, so you're going to drop your screws in through the bottom. They are done with a tiny little Allen key. Now, rather than trying to fight from the bottom against gravity, what I've done, go from the top, drop them in, just get a little bit of bite on it there, and then what I'm going to do, turn it up, move it into position, and then I'll get it wired all in, rather than fighting against gravity. Right, so the handlebar control place is now in place. All I've done, run the cable along with all the other cables I've got running down here. It's coming out through here. It's going to be connected to, self-explanatory, everything's got its own sort of notes on there. So control just installed into the control cable coming out of the unit. Eventually I'll make that all nice and neat down here when they're all cabled in. That is on a Y-split with the GPS, so it makes sense to locate the GPS next. Right, so the GPS I've just mounted on this bracket here, mainly so I can see it, just in case it ever disappears, but also it just seemed like the most easiest place to locate it without having to look for a sort of little hidey hole. All I'm going to do is run the cables under, back up through where the other cables are to meet the Y-split over here, and again, like I said, I'll just make that nice and tidy towards the end. So once again, you can just see on the cable there, GPS one end, GPS the other end. You literally cannot go wrong with this. Our next step will be the camera for the front, just for these, just to make sure that you don't muck them up. Again, they are labelled, so you've got driver front and driver rear, so don't be putting the rear camera on the front, because as soon as you go to look on those cameras on your control panel, your front will be your back and your back will be your front. Luckily this is an adventure bike, so I can mount mine on the front. If you haven't got one of these, then you might struggle where to put it, but I've got friends with naked bikes and they're doing alright with it. So once that's in, it comes with little 3M sticky pads. I'll clean that up, put that on there, and then I'll probably strengthen it with some Sugru. It does come with screws also, but I don't want to be drilling into my fairing, so I think I'll use a 3M pad and a bit of Sugru and see how that holds. Camera's in position. Like I said, all I'm going to do is just run that cable back through where all the other cable runs are. Again, meeting up at the console over there, I'll tidy that up. This is what I was on about Sugru. It's basically like a malleable glue. I'm just going to put that all around the base there, just in the event that when I take this off-roading, it gets a little bit wet and the sticky pad comes off. I'm not so much of a princess with this bike because it's constantly dirty. If it's a sports bike you're putting on, maybe you won't want to use this. However, if you're just putting it on your off-roader or whatever, it shouldn't be an issue. Just for reference, that's what it's going to look like if you are going to use the Sugru. It's not the prettiest thing, but I'd rather it look like that than lose the camera. Right, so next, all I've done is mount the rear camera on there. As you can see, it's just above my number plate holder. I have traced the cable up around this indicator, just zip tied it on there in case that does come loose. Even though it's got the Sugru on, it's still going to just be hanging off of here with a zip tie. In through the fairing, and then all I've done is run all the way through there. It's going behind all this fairing and coming up with all the other cable runs up through here just to meet all this. And then, like I've said a few times, eventually that will all be tidied away nice and neatly down there. Alright, so probably the part that most of you are here for, the power. So obviously I've just gone on to positive and negative with the correct terminals there, run that straight through the body, through all the fairings and up to the unit again, and then this is your switch cable. So ideally you want to be wiring this into your lights, or your basically something that's going to come on when only you start the engine. So plugging it straight into the battery isn't ideal because that's just going to be on all the time. So I'm going to have a quick look around, find out where my lights are, and then I'll either cut the end off of that and splice it in, or I'll come up with some sort of way, but we'll check it out in a minute. Right, so I've got my multimeter on, just got the black on black, red on red there, just to test that my battery's working. It's going off at 14, sorry. And then to find my switch live, I basically stripped back the cover on the like all the fuse and everything, and I've located the cable that runs off the rear tail lights, and I've just cut into the wrapping on that, and I've located the live wire, that brown one there, and all I've done is just stick a pin in there so it's touching the wiring. And now with obviously that grounded on my negative terminal, if I touch this, suppose I'll turn the ignition on. So I just did it then and it was going off as 0 with the ignition off, which is going to prove my point here. So the key's now turned. If I touch this, there we go. That is my switch live. So before you go cutting into cables, just dig a little pin into what you think is your switch live there. Test it with the key off, and then test it with the key on. What you're going to do is watch that. My battery's running a little flat there because I've been turning this on and off all morning trying to find this cable. So that is how you're going to find it. Easy tip for you. All I'm going to do now is cut into that cable and cut the head off this connection for the live, switch live, splice it into there, and I'll show you when it's done. Right, if you are going to do it this way, I strongly advise you solder it, because the last thing you want is it coming loose in there because you've just crimped it together and put a bit of electrical tape around it, and it knackers your electrics. So get yourself a soldering iron if you're going to do it this way. First thing I've done there is just strip back a little bit of cable from each side there, just give me a bit of room to get this new cable in place and soldered in. So just make sure you've got enough working space there when you cut the cable back, and yeah, like I said, solder it, otherwise you're going to have dramas. And that's all three soldered together. I'm just going to get some shrink wrap around it and then re-wrap this tape, and then we'll give it a test. There's everything back in, all wired in. All I'm left with is these little bits of cable here. I'll just whack a cable tie on them and hide them down there. And in the front, as I said, zip tied these. The main cluster cables are sort of hidden in here now. Again, cable tied. Last little tip I'll give you. You can find it in the book, however, it's just taken me a second. So if you put your tyre pressure sensors on before actually properly setting it up, these are going to come up unbound. The way around that is you're going to press front or rear tyre, then you're going to screw on your sensor and then it will calibrate it for you. If you put them straight on, you're going to struggle. So that's now flashing, which means I can go down here, loosen off the one I've already put on, and then screw it back on. And now, there we go. Both of them in. Tyre pressure gauge is on. GPS. Everything cabled in into a switched power, as you've seen. Let's give it a whirl. And hopefully when I turn this on, the GPS unit will come on. There we go. Easy as that. Hardest part is finding your switch live, but all in all, decent. Hopefully that's answered any questions you have to do with installing this system. If I have missed anything, drop a comment below and I will get back to you. I answer everything across my channel. Until next time, stay low, move fast, take it easy.